Hello and welcome to a Smurp video, and today we're looking at Marvel Legends Series X-Men Marvel's Rogue. And this is the lovely new box art, environmentally friendly, and you get nice artwork on the back, nice artwork on the side, picture of Rogue. Now, one thing that I finally noticed yesterday or the day before was they've stopped doing the bios on them. They used to do a little bio about Rogue, for example. This particular incarnation of Rogue and her costume, etc. But they haven't. And there's Rogue on the side. And that's pretty much it. And I got this from Comics and Cocktails. And there we go. So let me get this open so we can have a closer look. Okay, so here is Rogue out of her packaging, and it's a very, very simple costume. So she sort of adapts her first sort of costume into this sort of full-blown costume, etc. And her hair started to grow out at this point compared to the shorter hair when she first joins the X-Men. We still need that first Rogue figure as well. And that Rogue figure you could easily drop if they do a villain's wave. You could easily drop it in there. I'd be quite comfortable with that as well. We've seen many other X-villains dropped into those sort of lines, so I wouldn't be mind to it. And the fact that they've got the body is just about adapting the costume and the hair, really, in reality. Now, in terms of this face sculpt, I'm not sure I like this face sculpt, but it seems a bit like she's a little bit too happy, and Rogue was never overly happy, was she? Do you know what I mean? More sort of cheeky, etc. And especially at this time, this is when she first starts properly becoming part of the X-Men at this point with the Outback team. It's almost like, it almost ends up feeling like a whole new team apart from a few core members. So yeah, so the usual stuff on here. I'm not seeing anything different really that I could talk about. So in terms of articulation in the head, you can't get that around 360. It'd be a bit weird. You do have limited up and down, so if you want that flight pose, yeah, you're gonna perhaps struggle to get it with this figure. Arm can go all the way round. You get swivel on the joint there. You get swivel on the bicep. This is double jointed, and it is pinless, but it is a thin section in there, so do be careful. Gently ease it in. There we go. There we go. You can use a hairdryer or boiling water to loosen up the joint, but always be careful because that's how breakages happen if you try to force it rather than take the time. I actually finished a review, and I went to take Johnny Lawrence's ninjetti head off the body, and the whole board joint popped out of the neck. I can't get it out of the head at all. It's stuck in there. So, not everything's perfect, and I think I was being careful, to be honest with you. So the movement's up in the chest area. No movement at the waist. She can do almost a full splits. There's swivel on the leg. She does have double pinless on the leg. Lefty, righty, an upsy, and a downsy. So the usual stuff you would expect from a Marvel Legends female, etc. I do like a good waist rotation as well. I do sometimes think that they've gone for this as an easy way for them to mass produce figures, and it is. But as long as the figure looks like how I want it to look, that's the important thing. I'm still not sold on this head sculpt. I don't know what it is, but the hair looks cool. I like the white. She seemed to have more white in her hair at the front at this point in time. I can't remember if that was ever explained how she got that in the comics. I can't remember. I know they did something specific in the movies, but I can't remember in the comics. I'd have to go and look at that. And she does come with 2 fists to punch your lights out if you are naughty. Now, one thing that I did feel that they did really well with a couple of the 90s Rogues, which is obviously Rogue's iconic outfit, I would say. Probably more recognized than this, especially with the animated series as well, and very popular, that X-Men run that began with Jim Lee, etc. So is that they didn't give her a hand where she could touch and steal your powers. I felt like that bit was a little wee bit missing, so to speak. Anyway, we're starting to almost create a whole Outback team. So let's have a closer look at that. Alright, so here is Rogue with the Outback team. We clearly do not have an English Betsy, so I did not add in Psylocke. The other thing that I wanted to point out, we don't have the exact Colossus for this moment in time, because basically he just wears red pants, boots, and the rest of him is on display in silver. Now, one thing that I thought that perhaps I could get around that is I'd perhaps buy the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2 and get that Build-A-Figure piece in there and just strip off the outer armor, and then maybe just stick one of these heads on, the Colossus heads. Maybe I can get away with that, perhaps. It's a long shot because I'm not sure whether the heads are compatible, because the other one is a lot bigger, and that bigger size actually makes sense because that Colossus from the Age of Apocalypse is a bit stir crazy, etc. However, this works really, really well together. I really do like them, and I like the fact that this team is finally coming together. We also need a Madeline Pryor as well. She was pivotal to this X team before going to the dark side and becoming the Goblin Queen after making a pack. I feel like that is quite an important moment as well. So yeah, here is the Outback team. Let me know what you think. It's coming together finally after all these years of waiting. So all in all, I think this is a very cool Rogue. Very happy to have Outback Rogue. It's probably been a very long time coming, and I figured that once upon a time I would have thought that we would get it, but now over the last couple of years we've got Hasbro have leaped and bounded in terms of delivering figures that we wouldn't normally see. The latest X-Men wave being pivotal to that, seeing Generation X figures. So anything is possible now, as far as I feel as a collector. You know, it's no longer I know that I'm going to get a crap wave. I'm going to get a decent wave with some figures that I've probably always wanted, and I never thought were going to happen, which is great. So yeah, so there we go. If you like my channel, please support my channel by subscribing. Thank you to everybody that's taking the time to watch this video and are subscribed to the channel as well. Appreciate you folks for doing that. And make sure you look after yourself, very important, and embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.